What I will do in the meantime is let's see if we might be able to put something else on the line here as well. There's nothing wrong with having more than one position. Let's see Intuit here coming up against this overhead 200 period moving average after a nice burst to the upside with the last, what is that, 2, 4, 6. So why don't we do this? Let's see if we can get short here. Go a couple thousand shares on the short side with Intuit as well. Let's see where this takes us. Now again, these are only toes in the water here, all right? And they're anticipatory toes. So again, if they don't perform the way I'd like to see them perform, I will cut their losses rather short. I'll let them swing a little bit here. Now this might be a little strange for some who are not used to trading size. These numbers might seem big, but always keep in mind that it's all relative, all right? This could just as well be 20 shares stepping into the water just to get a feel, or it could be 200 shares. All right, my steps are usually 2,000 shares, with the idea perhaps maybe going up as high as a 20 to 30,000 share position. So we'll see. Right now they're just vacillating here. What I'll be doing is just looking for, I'll have to refresh this chart. There's no gap there. Looking for an opportunity to find my moment. All right, if it comes. Sometimes it doesn't come. We'll see. Okay. To which meandering around up here near the overhead 200 period moving average on the 2-minute time frame. We'll see if we can spot some weakness that will nail. What I'm going to do is, why don't I step up a little bit my share amount here into it. So actually I've stepped up to what looks like approximately 4,375 shares. This is the size. All right, still rather light position. Okay, let's see if I can pick that size up even a little bit more. Let me take it up to the 5,000 share position. Again, still rather small in comparison to, a 20, 30,000 share position. But we'll stage in and see how this works for us. Okay, I'm getting some movement down, so now I'm up $272 on the position. We're getting some movement down. Again, that's still rather neutral. Up $710 on this position so far. Up $808. But again, these are all neutral zones. We're not in this game to make a few $100s here. We're looking for some size. There we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. So what I'll try to do is let me shave a little down here. I'm going to take 1,000 shares off, lock in some profits here. All right. I'm bidding at 88.30. All right. Last trade here is at 88.36. I have bids at 88.30. So let's see if we get a push down big enough to fill me at 30. I'll wait down there. I'll be patient. No need to rush. Let it vacillate back and forth. Over the years, as your seasoning develops, you start to just gain the ability to sit through the wiggles without them affecting you. One key characteristic of a novice trader is that you'll see that the market is actually playing them. They are not playing the market. Every tick, every move, every wiggle is actually moving the trader, when in fact, the more seasoned trader stands still, if you will, and allows the wiggles to just materialize and happen. They don't affect or move the trader's resolve. So again, Intuit showing a gain of 418 at the moment. That'll move back and forth. UNH showing a loss of about 500. No big deal. We're just waiting. We're waiting to actually build our positions. These are still relatively light positions. I have a little shy of 4,000 shares in Intuit and only 2,000 shares in UNH, both on the short side actually. And while I'll trade anything that presents itself, I do have my favorites. The favorites are where I play about 80 to 85% of the time. And when my favorites aren't offering the opportunities I like, or not presenting anything at the current moment, I'll go beyond those favorites. But I do try to stay with my favorites, those that I'm extraordinarily intimate with the vast majority of the time. That is another error that I believe many novice traders make. They extend themselves beyond what they're intimate with. In fact, many novices become intimate with nothing because they're constantly scurrying about from one symbol to the next, and they're easily moved by a little piece of news or what someone types in a chat room or what have you. So they don't become specialists, they don't become intimate, they don't learn the tendencies, the characteristics, the idiosyncrasies of a small group of stocks. When one becomes a specialist with 5 to 10 symbols, you can potentially reach a point in your development with these 5 to 10 symbols, with your intimacy, where you can almost, there we go, you can almost feel what is about to happen next. Okay, so I'm bidding at 30. I should be filled at 30, no? Yes, okay. It should be filled there. Thought some trades went off. So yes, I was filled. I locked some profits in, not much. I wasn't filled for everything at 30. So I still have some shares bidding at 30. And what I'd like to do, see if we can pare down a little bit more. Now, what's also interesting about Intuit is that at times its spread can go quite wide on you. And a lot of traders are uncomfortable with the stock that trades with a wide bid and ask spread. I'm not one of those traders. I got my start in the early days before the internet explosion back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was actually quite normal to trade stocks that had spreads of $2, $3, $4. So I cut my teeth as a professional trader during that environment. So when now a stock opens up with a spread of 25 cents, 20 cents, to me that's still rather small based on my history of trading. So I've got an open position in Intuit for $700, closed position for almost 300. I'm down in UNH, a very neutral 500, but nothing to write home about. Total P&L here, almost $1,000 in Intuit. Half of that is in the negative on UNH. We'll see if we can turn that around. Now I have some bids out there at 37. I'll start to pare down a little bit. Remember, I still have those bids at 30 as well. There's 38 print. Now I'm sitting at 37 with some shares to cover. Locked in a little bit more. Okay, I'm down to 3,000, 2,300 up, so it's hitting my bids. Dropping down to 30, hitting my bids. Closed P&L has moved up to 810. Open P&L still 671. I'm still bidding at 30. All right. My 30 should start to go here. Fills on the 30s. I'm down to 1,875 shares. All right, there we go. Okay with that. Now I'm bidding still here. I've only got 300 and 75 shares left here, and let's get rid of that. Now, so I've locked in $1,320 on the INTU trade. The reason why I decided to sort of pare it down to zero is because I see that we're coming into this triangular formation. Now, I felt that we were going to get a drop off the declining 200 into the 20, but there's a little bit of support I see developing here. This move up off the $30 area. Remember, I was bidding there for a while. We moved back down to it. Now we're popping back up. And as the space between the 200 and the 20 start to narrow, this starts to get more of a bullish sort of handle development here that could pop to the upside. So basically I decided to close the position out. We took some change out of it. Now let's focus on our UNH.